Our new solicitors that representing us applied for legal aid for us so we could appeal against this summary judgment. And while they were looking at that, they looked at the bills that we'd been sent by TS&P, and they found no less than 88 points of overcharging and delaying tactics. For example, we were being charged top dollar solicitor rates for photocopying. That's a lot of money, a job that's normally done by an office junior. Just our luck. Legal aid took so long to grant the money, the ticket, to our solicitors so they get paid to do it, that they had no time to prepare for disclosure the list of 88 points for overcharging and delaying tactics, which meant they didn't disclose it to the court until the morning of the hearing. The judge wanted written proof from TS&P that they'd given us advice that we couldn't win against Mr. Duval's claim. Eventually TS&P came up with 105 documents to prove that they'd given us written advice, but the judge wasn't having none of it because it just wasn't there. There wasn't no written advice. It looked like the judge was going to reject their evidence because they just didn't have it. Amazingly, the counsel that they used for us on the trial, a fella called Waterworth from 10 Old Square Chambers, said in his written statement, which the judge was amazed at, he wasn't asked to give an opinion, so he didn't. There was a problem. So what the other side did, their counsel complained that because our counsel had changed the direction of our objecting to the summary judgment, was tantamount to being ambushed. Now the only thing they could do was to try to stop. This obviously was going the wrong way, you see, so all they could do was start to scream that all the money they'd spent preparing a case for the other kind of direction was wasted. So they said to the judge that they think they should get the money that they've wasted, and they called it throwaway costs, if this was going to go any further. Now this gave the judge a way of letting them off the hook, basically, because they came up with like they wanted 10 grand. So Lightman said, I'll tell you what, we'll recess, and then the Armstrongs can show proof that they've got the 10 grand and pay it into the court, in which case then I could grant them leave to appeal. So we were on legal aid. Where were we going to get 10 grand in 10 minutes? Impossible. Nonetheless, frantic phone calls, family, friends, we got the 10 grand, or promise of 10 grand. So we were able to tell our bloke, tell him yes, we've got 10 grand, which he did. Then from 10 grand they decided no, that's not enough. 27 grand they wanted. 27, and if we didn't put that into the court, we'd lose the day. Our counsel, thank God, argued it down to 20 grand. More frantic phone calls. You see, if we couldn't get this money, the judge knew well that was the end of it, it would die. But we came back with a fax from a friend to say the 20 grand would be paid in the court within the month. So you see, the judge, as much as he tried to help Thompson, Snell and Passmore, was stuck. He had no choice but to grant us leave to appeal. But that's always providing this 20 grand was lodged in the court within 28 days. Everybody on our side was well pleased. All the family and friends thought, thank God for that, we're going to get a chance to appeal. Would you believe it? At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the day before the trial, our solicitor called us to say that Thompson, Snell and Passmore had conceded, but they didn't want to go to court. So our solicitor advised us that basically TS&P wanted to mediate our loss. In other words, come to a deal to pay us out of court damages. Our solicitors told us that if we reject mediation and elect to go to court, to go to trial, the judge would frown on it because there was a chance here to be reasonable and try to resolve the situation. So a date was set for the 13th of November 2007. At that mediation session, which lasted for 11 o'clock at night, it was conceded that they had not given us correct advice and that they would have to pay us out of court damages. It just really got to the point of how much. Turns out in law that we couldn't claim for the fact that Jason lost his house, that Halifax had repossessed it outside of the Code of Practice, Building Society Code of Practice. Couldn't claim for that. We couldn't claim for loss of business, and bearing in mind we lost an absolute fortune because our business crashed on the back of all the publicity that this generated. All we could claim for was basically what TS&P, a firm of solicitors, had charged us. Yes, there's another couple of firms that we've got to go after, but all we could get back was the fraudulent charges that they had made upon us. We weren't best pleased with that because we'd lost a lot of money, but our legal team urged us to accept what was on the table, because they said if we didn't take their advice and accept a paltry offer, we probably would lose legal aid, which in effect meant that if we elected to go to trial, we'd have to defend ourselves again. And we know what happened last time because we're no match for these barristers. So we had no choice, no option but to accept it, peanuts on the day. We weren't best pleased at all with this. There was no money really, because after repaying our legal aid bill, and you do have to pay the legal aid back if you use legal aid, the money that TS&P paid for us in damages wasn't even enough to pay off Uncle Arry's legal cost, for which he's got a court order. So under his court order, if we don't pay his solicitor's top-up costs, our house will have to be sold to pay it because they've got this order. And our only recourse is to go public with the whole sorry story, so that other people are warned not to assume that just because it's an old established firm of solicitors they can be trusted, just like Thompson Snell. Their main target is profit. We now know from other people that all they do is charge you max. They screw you, which is exactly what they did to us.
See you, Brian.
My name's Arry Armstrong.
Right.
Please, don't let us stop.
Thank you.
Please. I'm a television producer.
Right.
Here's my card.
Thank you.
And currently we're making a documentary about Thompson.
Oh, right.
I'm an old client. Used to be a client of Thompson and Parsons.
Right.
And the documentary is going to focus on Thompson and Parsons' negligence. And my family is about to lose its house. It's going to be repossessed. So, could you please take that,
Right.
read it, and then pass it on to Michael, please?
Right. Okay. I will do that for you.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.